Barbarian Horde, your main man returns, reminding you to like us on Raw Immersive Games on Facebook. Main man on Facebook. Very, very soon you will be able to order your Within the Ring of Fire product. So stay tuned to this channel and like us on Facebook to find out exactly when that's going to be happening. And the time draws near. But right now, it's time to talk about my favorite prestige class of Dungeons and Dragons. Guess what? It comes out of the Book of Vile Darkness, which I have used to blind you and dazzle you for our D7 rounds. It's going to be the Priest. Now, I played an Priest in a game one time, and it was a complete organic development. I really enjoy playing divinely focused characters. It adds an additional level to a character. In fact, I don't really see much of a reason you wouldn't ever have a character that is divinely focused. Whether you start that way or you go into it, the gods are real, they are powerful, and they are demanding of your worship, of your sacrifice, of your time, of your love. And you can tell great, wonderful, very interesting stories with them. So I like to make a god a very intricate part of my character. And in this game, just such a thing happened. And the game master, well, he didn't do a very good job. It screwed the whole thing up. I'm going to be honest about it. He was a frilled lizard, as is the custom of a frilled lizard. And he did a deal, and it basically ended up kind of flipping the god against me. I'm like, well, that's not what I wanted to do. But the way he did the whole thing, I said, well, I mean, if you've turned a god against the character, why don't I go with this Priest? My character was, in fact, a rogue. I wasn't like a priest or a paladin or something like that. I was a rogue, but I was a really, like, if there had been like a rogue equivalent of paladin, like that's what I would have been, essentially something like that. I did have a few feats that gave me a little like kind of divine abilities, so it definitely fell under that line, building a character in that way. So with this character, Asteria Aether, we had this great fall. The god turned heel on me. You understand, the goddess, I should say. And in this scenario, my character ends up becoming an Priest. Priests, although they said they, I think it's a little odd. It says Priests despise gods. However, a small number of them have learned to tap into divine power, which I thought was odd. Is at first level, the Priest gets divine power. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit pedantic there, but that's a bit odd to say. Now, what you basically do is you sort of leech off the power of the divine. And that is awesome. That is wonderfully worth exploring, experiencing, and you can definitely tell some stories off that hook alone. I mean, that's like, whoa, when I read this, I was like, oh, they're essentially these divine anti-theists. They are the enemies of the divine, and they can really do some interesting things. Typically, you're going to be a priest or a paladin. In my case, it was a different type of character, but the typical, I guess, standard. Not that I've never seen or even heard of someone else playing a priest. If you have played a priest, leave it in the comments below. I'd be interested to hear that someone else has used this class. I know I tend to. I don't look at prestige classes. Oh, I get this level and this power. I look at things like, oh, that's awesome. I like that costume. I like that idea. I could work with that. I could do something with that. Even if it's not what they've written, if it gets my imagination sparked up, that's what I want from a prestige class, not, extra whatever. I want something that is just cool that I can work with. And the Priest does that in abundance. Now, as you well know, if you're playing, let's say, a cleric or even a paladin, you've lost all your abilities. That paladin is basically a weak fighter. Because your smite's gone, your spells are gone, your divine immunities to like disease and things like that, all that's gone as a paladin. As a cleric, everything is gone. You can't turn, you can't cast spells. It's just gone. Like all you have is like your basic feats, and you better hope you didn't take those and things that would just screw you over now, like extra smiting or extra turning or whatever it is. Just all gone, all worthless, of no use or no value. The Priest is interesting because you're going to have to be. Let me take a look here. I think. Don't quote me on this. I think you could get involved with this as early as 6th level, but being 6th level, I mean, it's rough because, I mean, they got a ton of requisites here. They have feats that make no freaking sense. It's like, you must have Iron Will and Malign Spell Focus. Why would you have Malign Spell Focus? Why would you possibly have that feat? It's just like they're trying to integrate some stuff from here. So scratch that one out right off the bat. Maybe later you learn that feat. Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't even say that was necessary. But the Iron Will, I could see it conceptually why. Like you got a strong mind or whatever. But to me, I think feats particularly can be a very bad constrictor because you can't just buy them. It's like, well, you only get a few of them and they're probably already spent. Now it's like something cool happens in the story because I mean, you're probably not starting out to play an herb priest. You're like, I'm gonna flip to an herb priest later. I mean, that kind of kills the whole drama of the entire character arc. It's something that happens in the game, and this is a response. And that's a really cool story. But if it's like, well, it's a really cool story, but also you need Iron Will and Malign Spell Focus. So come back to this like 4 levels from now. You're like, what? I wait another 4 levels just to pick up these booty feats? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. It's silly. You're squashing the fun and putting out the fires of creativity. So pretty much on most PRCs, I'll just say I don't even. I've X'd out feats. Period. I mean, I don't care about them unless for some reason it really makes sense. Like, well, clearly you would need that, but this is not really a case that I see along those lines. Now, it's that flavor of just getting there like a parasite on the god and just draining it and taking, and you feel with so much hatred, so much contempt towards that divinity. You're getting your nos on, and you're drinking down that divinity soul, and that is a really just a wonderful thing. But the repercussions that can spawn from it, the other clergy perhaps come to get you because now you are beyond apostate. You are beyond pariah. You are the most abominable creature in existence. You're sitting there siphoning off your former god like a mosquito, and that clergy is coming to get you. Those paladins are coming to get you. And that's a really interesting thing. And this can work anyway. You can be worshiping an evil deity. You can worship a good deity, lawful chaos. It doesn't matter. You're mad, you're angry, you're an anti-theist. You are a raper of the god's soul. And that, I mean, that's just a wonderful key to tell a powerful story. It works out very interesting, particularly let's say you're taking and playing that priest. You started off and you are in a position where you don't have spells. Well, basically your power is gone. You don't have spells, you don't have turning. You're a really weak fighter because you're a 3/4 base attack bonus. I mean, you have pretty good saves, I guess. You might have other feats that become completely useless. And until you hit that next level, because something probably happened, like let's say you're 7th level and something happens and you build the story arc. Well, you're sitting there basically completely powerless for a little while. Some people don't like that. Generally, that's probably a bad player because now all of a sudden you're getting to play the character in a different light, not having that power, having to cope with that, having to do different things like, oh, I better use my sling now and just bust people in the head with a mace and, really try to work this shield in because you have to think, you have to use other things. And when you have a storyline like that, it's very interesting. It's like looking at like a Marvel Comics and you see Iron Man doesn't have his armor for some issues, or Thor's lost his hammer and has to do different stuff. So it makes a character less predictable, more interesting, more entertaining, and it forces a dynamic change. So then you have a period from here where you're your baseline, then you have this strange chaotic period where you're doing different stuff, and then you flip into this new character. So it's like huge dynamic change that leads to another essentially dynamic change along the line, and it really creates a wonderful storytelling possibility, which is what I'm all about. So this class, it lets you pick up at first level. You get first level spells and nothing. You get no other abilities. In fact, all you get is a strong will save and you have a 3/4 base attack bonus. So you're like, oh, I'm like 7th level, 6th level, 8th level, 9th level, and all I can do is cast first level spells. Oh, that's rough. That is kind of rough, right? But then at 2nd level, you get 2nd level spells. You have to wait till 3rd level. 3rd level, you're getting 3rd level spells. 4th level, 4th level spells. 5th level, the same thing. All the way down until 9th level gets you 9th level spells. So you get that power just rushes on you like an avalanche of divine powers. You learn your parasitic persistence upon that divinity. And that's awesome. So for me, Herb Priest definitely my favorite prestige class. I'm going to be talking more and more about prestige classes. I still have some other D&D classes to finish out. If there are prestige classes you want to hear me talk about, feel free to write them in there. Some I'm not going to have anything to say about, so I'm not going to do videos on them. But if I look at it and go, oh, yeah, I can talk about that one. Well, then thus we will continue the conversation in that way. Remember, Raw Immersive Games, Facebook, look for Within the Ring of Fire. I have been your main man. You have been my barbarian horde. And soon we shall rage and ravage across the land like never before.